maybe come to Vegas one day. There's this awesome conference that's there now, Labor Day. I'll tell you all about it.
Oh, I'd love to.
Yeah, really fun. Hey everyone, and welcome to Chef AJ and Friends. I'm your host, Chef AJ, and my guest today is Chef Mark Reinfeld, and he is going to show you how to make vegan mozzarella. Please welcome him to the show. How are you doing? Long time no see.
Yeah, so wonderful to see you, AJ. Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. You are really, you're a chef. You're not like me, like a just like barely, made it through culinary school chef. And people may know you from Summerfest if they go to or now vegan Summerfest every year.
Yes.
Doing that 11 years. Boy, the food was really upgraded when you took over. But that's like a real job. I mean, that's got to be an intense job, you know?
Yeah, we do up to 500 people. First year was like 750 people. It's been like 500 or 450, 3 meals a day, all you can eat. And we do, as you know, we do an SOS station, gluten-free, raw station, wok, salad bars, and everyone comes in at once. It takes me about a year to recover, but it's worth it. It's a great event.
It's just so cool that you have so many options because there's not one type of vegan, and you really can satisfy just about every diet that a vegan could be on, from whole food plant-based to more a little bit like, more processed, to gluten-free, to
Yeah.
oil-free, to raw. And I mean, it's very impressive actually.
Thank you. Yeah, we do have a pizza station where even Dr. Greger is rumored to have been visiting the pizza station there. So it appeals to the whole range.
Yeah, you can't go wrong. And boy, that what a treasure that they have you there. So, what else have you been up to?
I've been doing this 4 week training. That's the signature course that I've been offering, and I could talk more about it through the program. In the show notes, there's a link for details, but it's a real deep dive for anyone wanting to explore the techniques of vegan and raw food cuisine. It's virtual in the comfort of your home. I've had people from all over the world. A woman who owned a coffee plantation in Nicaragua, I had a culinary student in Turkey, a 14-year-old in England. I have people from Canada, Mexico, all throughout the States. So it's a comprehensive program with like food as medicine modules, one-on-one coaching. I love the format, doing it virtually. It's recorded so people can watch it later, but it's in your comfort of your own kitchen. We make all these amazing recipes together, one of which I'm going to show you today on our in our plant-based cheese day.
That sounds so much fun. How long is the course? Maybe I should take it. The only thing about virtual learning is when we taste it, you can't tell us if that's what it's supposed to taste like.
Yeah, I was surprised at first, but the recipes are pretty accurate. So, and they hold up the dishes for consistency. Does this look right? And so we do, like, there's a day on palate development, a day just for soups and salads, dressings, sauces, entrees and casseroles, plant proteins. I have Chef Ron Pekarsky does a little video talk on plant proteins. Miyoko, I did an audio presentation on plant-based cheeses. We do raw food. Pretty much all the recipes could be adapted to SOS. I've actually had several of your followers come and take my course, so I show people how to make the recipes SOS as well.
That's great. You mean SOS free because almost everything is
Yeah,
SOS.
that's true, right? SOS free.
Oh man, that is so hard. Hey, just because we had the show yesterday, and chefs tend to know other chefs, I know you probably not. Where do you live, by the way?
We're outside of Boulder, Colorado. I've been here for several years. As you know, we had a restaurant in Hawaii for 8 years on the island of Kauai. I traveled around doing these 5 and 10 day trainings internationally, all through the States and Hawaii and England and France. And now we settled here outside of Boulder. We had a cooking school that we opened and closed during COVID. And now I shifted to this format the last few years, really consolidating my 2.5 decades of culinary experience into this 4 week offering.
Wow. And does it start pretty soon?
I do them seasonally. So I have the October course starts on the 20th, and then the winter course starts January 26th. So those are my next two, the fall course and then the winter course.
And they're every day for 4 weeks.
Yeah, so it's 4 hours a day via Zoom. So it's 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. Mountain Time. All the classes are recorded if people come in late or leave early or need to miss a day. And then we're actually prepping. I send an ingredient list, a shopping list, equipment list. There's about 700 pages of training materials. It's very comprehensive. It's really for three groups of people: people that want to go into the professional plant-based culinary world, home chefs who just want to learn how to cook more healthy foods for their family. And then a lot of people take it who are health coaches or nurses who are looking to add this culinary food as medicine component to their practice. So it's 11 to 3, 5 days a week for 4 weeks. So
Wow.
it's a deep dive. It's a
Wow.
transformative
It
experience.
sounds like it would be so incredibly fun, and I'm actually considering it. You know what I wondered? Like, do you keep in touch with the graduates? Because Dr. Alan Goldhammer, who was on the show yesterday, is looking to add another full-time chef to True North. Not because he's getting rid of any of the ones he has, but he really wants to expand what they do there, specifically looking for like Asian, because the chefs there are Latino and they do a great job with, all the regular food and the Mexican, but he'd like to have something like with more of like a raw food and an Asian flair. Do you know anybody?
Yeah, could please put me in touch with him, and I'll if he sends me info, I could put it out. I've trained hundreds and hundreds of people over the years, so this 4 week offering is the latest. But like I mentioned, hundreds in these in-person 5 and 10 day courses. I have quite a list of people that have taken my courses. I'd love to put the word out for them.
Right. And while you show the recipe, you keep talking, and I'm going to find the show notes because I have to wait till we start the stream to put them in. So it'll be there. And people keep asking, are we giving the recipe? Are we not giving the recipe? I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, so in the show notes, you'll see there's an email. You could email me and I'll send you the recipe. I'm also going to give a free gift to your listeners. It's the 7 culinary keys to how to create amazing plant-based cuisine. That's another thing I worked on, and I'll talk more about that as time permits. But that's another gift for your listeners.
Thank you. Well, I can't wait
So,
to see what you make it out of because I just learned about a new ingredient called watermelon seeds that I made ricotta out of.
nice. Awesome. Very cool. Well,
Yeah.
this is a super simple recipe. Again, this is something we do in the plant-based cheese making day that I offer in my 4 week course. So this is a sample of how that class takes place. I'm in my kitchen, you're in yours. We do the mise en place together, which is get all the ingredients ready. I'll talk through the recipe as we do it together. So for this recipe, what we're going to do is we're going to start with soaked cashews. And the recipe calls for 1 cup of cashews, comma, soaked. And I like to ask a little koan of what is the difference between not the sound of one hand clapping, but what is the difference between 1 cup of cashews soaked and 1 cup of soaked cashews?
I
And
think
so
this is a riddle.
So the answer is if you say 1 cup of cashews, comma, soaked, you take your 1 cup, you soak them, and then you use that full quantity. So if you said 1 cup of soaked cashews, I would go into my soaked cashews and measure a cup, but the two are slightly different. So just
Very
a
just
mind bender for you there. Uh,
nice.
so
It depends where the comma is. Okay.
Yep, the commas are very important. So I have 1 cup of soaked cashews here, 1 cup of cashews, comma, soaked here. We're going to drain these and give them a little rinse. And in raw food preparation, because we do cover that in the course, I have a day, just 3 days of just raw food where we do fermenting and pickling and using the dehydrator. You'll often see nuts and seeds that are soaked and then drained. And the reason why we do that is I like to say for a lot of the techniques and ingredients that we use in the plant-based kitchen, there's a culinary component and a nutritional component. And because we're focusing on the healing quality of foods and food as medicine, it's important to know why we do things for those reasons. So the short answer is that more nutrients become available and they're easier to digest. That's the nutritional side. The culinary side is you get more of a creamier consistency, which is what we're looking for when we do this plant-based cheese. I have my cashews in here, and now I'm going to add, this is unsweetened plant-based yogurt, so you could choose whatever variety you like, and then it would be sugar-free.
Which one do you like, Mark? Because I found one I really like called Harmless Harvest that is pretty low in fat and doesn't have any like oil or sugar or anything.
The Harmless Harvest, actually, they're an offshoot of the coconut water that they've put out several years ago. And living in Hawaii for the years that I did, most of the, if you called what's readily available coconut water in Hawaii, they would kick you out of Hawaii. But Harmless Harvest actually tastes like coconut water. So they created their brand. That's a wonderful brand. This is a Forager brand. It's a cashew-based yogurt. So it's unsweetened, so we like to use that here. And now in the workshop, I cover a lot of different techniques of creating plant-based cheeses. Some of them involve actually creating, fermenting and culturing to create the friendly bacteria to help build up the microbiome. Those are techniques that we cover in the course. One is we make Rejuvelac, which is a sprouted wheatberry juice. There's something called the overnight culture method, and also the acidophilus method, where you open an acidophilus culture. When you do that, you're actually getting the probiotic benefits. In other instances, there are ingredients that we could add to our pureed cashews to create a cheesy flavor. Can anyone in the audience guess what one of those ingredients might be?
Yeah, nooch.
So,
How did it get the name nooch?
I think nooch is short for nutritional yeast, but it's also in some circles known as hippie dust. So I travel internationally with my nutritional yeast. We use it, and it's one of the top ingredients in the plant-based pantry. So we're going to add a little bit of nutritional yeast. Another ingredient that gives a tang to our plant-based cheeses is lemon juice. So I'm going to add a little bit of lemon juice here. So the recipe calls for salt or a salt alternative. You're the one that turned me on to this green salt. I actually made a batch with this. It works nicely. It does give you a little bit of a color to your mozzarella, but if you want to do it completely salt-free, this actually works really well, the green salt. And then a little bit of garlic powder and onion powder going here. Depending on how long you soak the cashews and for the strength of your blender, you can add a little bit of water to that. So I'm going to add that. And then this is going to get blended. And when we blend this, this is where a Vitamix comes in handy, because you want to make sure there's no like grittiness or chunks of cashews in there. So the reason why I like the Vitamix is it has this tamper.
Yeah,
so
the
you could get a
tampers.
puree going without adding a lot of extra liquid. So we're going to put it on the blender, and then you're going to stir it and kind of tap it down. Blend, 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 blend. And then voila. We have our creamy base for our mozzarella. So those are just the ingredients that I mentioned, nicely blended.
Do you just pour that over your pizza?
Well, not yet, because there's one key ingredient. So you could use that, but the key ingredient, which is going to create stretchy mozzarella, is tapioca flour. So or starch. So I do want to give a plug if people have a Vitamix for this really cool. One of my students turned me on to this to get ingredients out of your Vitamix, a spatula scraper. Very good tool for those who have a Vitamix.
So we have a question for someone that can't have nuts. Is there a way to make vegan cheese without it?
Yeah, so that's a great question. So you could do this with sunflower seeds. if you want to, it's going to have a stronger flavor. The reason why cashews are used a lot is that they have a good fat content and they're somewhat neutral in flavor. But if you can't have cashews, then you could certainly use sunflower seeds. And just you want to get that really blended well. So that's the key part of it. I'm going to take the contents of my blender here and I'm going to add it to a pot on like a medium heat. And then what we're looking to do, you saw the consistency of that cashew cream before I added the tapioca. So I'm going to show you what we're looking for after we add the tapioca. And so you're going to want to have, I like to start with a whisk, but it's going to get too thick for the whisk really fast. So I'm just going to use the whisk to get the tapioca integrated. And then I'm going to switch over to my spatula. And just this is where you could get a little messy if you rush on this. I've gotten tapioca flour all over me, so I'm going to do my best to keep that to a minimum. And then I will show you as it starts to thicken, it's going to get stretchable. And it's pretty cool from like the food science standpoint. In our cheese making day, we also make spreadable cheeses. We make a cream cheese, and I make a sliceable cheddar that uses agar to create. It's another plant-based cheese making technique, which I will show you a cool. If you get into cheese making, I'll show you a cool little gadget once I get this done. But you'll see the tapioca starts to activate pretty quickly. And we're going to be doing two things with this that are going to be reserved for your group. So once we have this mozzarella ready, I'm going to show you how we're going to make mozzarella. You can make a mozzarella ball with it. And then in your group, I'm going to show you something I just worked on is mozzarella sticks, air fried mozzarella sticks.
Make sure you show those at the end. And what Mark means about my group, I have a private community called Chef Friends. And right after Mark is done here, he's going to be doing that presentation there. So if you're a member, just use that link. And if you're not, why not join us?
So let me show you. This is almost done now, but you could see it's getting, let me get that. It's like getting this like stretchy consistency. It's almost there. So we're going to just and in my that 4-week training, I have an additional camera. I have an overhead camera so people could zoom in on the cutting board and the pot. But I think actually this, I'm going to call this done. So pretty stretchy like that. I'm going to show you again two things. One is a mozzarella ball, and so for that I have ice here with some salt, and you can use that green salt, and that's going to create a brine. And so what we're going to do is I'm going to use a scoop and show you close up. Take your scoop and drop it in the brine there. That's one thing we're going to do. We're going to also make a caprese salad later where we're going to slice that and do a balsamic glaze with toasted pine nuts and basil and tomato.
That is just so cool. You know, a live viewer named Under the Meridian is saying, this is the best tutorial I've seen on cheese. It's so helpful to see consistency tips. I didn't realize it was that easy.
Yeah, that's kind of what I look at as one of my missions in life is to show people to simplify all this. So as you know, I have my books are called the 30-Minute Vegan. I have 4 books in the 30-Minute Vegan series. We're getting into soup season, but let me show you this now. So I'm for the mozzarella sticks, I'm just gonna take this mixture and get it as flat as I can. It's a little tricky to do this standing up with one hand, but what I'm doing is I'm just pressing this down in here to make it flat. And then we're gonna put this in the refrigerator and I'll show you the next step to make our sticks. But if people do want quick and easy soups, I have a book called The 30-Minute Vegan Soups On, which I publicize as vegan soups for the chicken soul.
That's cute.
So
Well,
it takes a minute.
I have your book, the Fusion book.
Okay, we actually just did a 20th anniversary release of that book. And if you recall, Dr. Goodall wrote the foreword to that. We were actually just in touch with her team recently. She had asked for a copy of the new book.
Lisa,
Yeah,
Lisa, Whole Food Plant-Based Yankee fan says, I love watching vegan cheese being made, but I haven't seen anything like this one. Fantastic. And
cool.
somebody's asking to lower the fat. Can you use the PB2 unsweetened cashew powder? I bought some of the powders. I've never used the defatted nut powders yet.
I have not tried it. That would be very interesting, though. Uh, so that's the two. I was going to conclude. I could show you the mozzarella sticks, the final. So this is what we're looking for. I have this just in a glass tray here. And then I'll show you how we turn these into sticks and make air fried mozzarella sticks. We have the mozzarella balls here. I leave this in here for a few hours, but you could see it has this cool consistency. You could chop this up and put it on salads or on pasta, pizza. It's really simple and really nice. And then if you want to go down the rabbit hole with plant-based cheese making, then you could this is like a silicone mold. I use this for the cheddar that we do. It's like a truffled smoked cheddar. And we do a similar technique, although we're using agar. We pour the mixture into this mold and then it pops out easily. And if you could see, there's little like ridges in there. And so when you take it out, it looks like Swiss cheese. It's kind of cool. So
That is really cool.
yeah, so people like that. It's one of the funner days in the course doing the plant-based cheese making.
Gosh, I want to take it. Susanna, you want to take it with me? Maybe the January one. Okay,
I'll give you the friends and family rate, AJ.
thank you. Here's a trivia question. What do Mark and I have in common? It's an award we both received. See if you know, put it in the chat. If I have a prize, I'll give you one, or I'll give you all my love and admiration.
So I did. We do have some time, so I'd love to share a little more about this 7 culinary keys. I know I said I would do the first 3 keys.
Okay, let me just read some of the nice comments from you because do you know John Flaherty? Flaherty?
That sounds very familiar.
Because he says, I'd recognize that kitchen anywhere, so he must be somebody that's been in your kitchen.
Oh, okay, yeah. Oh, that's John Flaherty. I think John took my course, if that's the John I'm thinking of.
Okay, and then there's somebody that is okay, do you know Ruth Pine? Old Long Island School and Hebrew School friend.
Yes. Is that her? She on
She's watching live,
wow.
Yeah.
Hey, Ruth.
Oh my gosh, that's so nice. Yeah, John took the class last year. So John, tell us in the chat what you think. It sounds fat. I just got to be feeling a little bit better. And I'm hoping to be off treatment but the way I feel right now, I can't even eat anything except for toast. So it's like, I want to be able to eat what I make.
Since John is in the class, I have a surprise for him because at Summerfest, he took a photo of me and Ashley right at the end of Summerfest. And one of the things that I just did, I'm about to publish a new book on special needs parenting called Islands of Peace. And John took that photo at Summerfest. So I give you credit in the book, and John, I'll send you a free copy too. But John's a great photographer.
Oh my gosh. That is so, I mean, I don't think I've ever met your wife or even seen her. I didn't even know like you had a wife or kids until today, really, you know?
Cool. Whenever you want me to start on
Oh,
this,
yes,
I can.
please. Oh,
Okay,
please.
cool.
Wait,
Okay,
wait, 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 1 second.
okay.
We were both of you awarded the Platinum Carrot Award. Kind of.
Uh, the Platinum Carrot Award is a very interesting story, and that was Tanya from Native Foods won that. We both won that award. I have a lot of funny stories about that award.
Well, if you have time, tell him. So Ruth
Okay.
said I couldn't miss watching Mark live, and she's so glad that you remember her. And Brenda says he is so nice. Yes, he is. And John is saying, because I know you can't see the chat. Hey, thanks, Mark. We were both awarded an award at Vegan Summerfest called the Vegan Hall of Fame. We were both inducted, as long as also with Miyoko Shinner and a lot of other wonderful vegans.
And I like to clarify, it's not the same Hall of Fame that Mick Jagger is in. It's the other Hall of Fame.
Darn. Okay. We're in the same one as Gandhi.
That's a good one. It's good company.
Yeah, good company. All right. My daughter worked with special needs kids for 12 years. Now she's the principal of 900. Wow, Renee, that's something. Yeah, tell us about it. Or do the 7 keys or do the
Okay,
three
well, I'll
keys.
do the book since so basically, it's a little personal. I just started sharing it that we have a son who has something called Angelman syndrome. It's a rare genetic condition. He's nonverbal with like global developmental delays. And for a few years, I've been facilitating monthly dads groups for fathers of children who have special needs and disabilities. I've been doing an in-person group here in the Boulder area and a virtual one for kids with Angelman syndrome. And just started. If anyone knows, I mean, parenting is very hard. Special needs parenting is can be really, really hard. And I had this idea called Islands of Peace, which is just identifying some of those moments of calm and expanding on them. So the first part of the book looks at like the hot spots that are really hard. So like your mental health, your partner's mental health, marital stress, the stress the siblings under, financial stress. And then the second part are tools. So community, there's a chapter on breathing, on movement, on somatic therapies, community, mental affirmations, self-care. So this will be coming out in a week or so. So I'll put the word out further on that. But thank you for
Yeah.
letting me share on that.
Well, feel free to come back and talk about it. It's an important topic. I mean, I can't imagine, the challenges. I have a special needs dog, and I'm like, that's hard enough. So imagine a
Yeah,
you know,
I didn't put a pet section in there. That would be
yeah,
a
yeah,
good idea.
because like you can't create a kid, when they're missing.
Yeah,
You just gotta you have to have a lot of patience and compassion. I can only imagine.
yeah.
Yeah. Do you live near
So
JP? Doesn't he live in
yes,
Boulder? Yeah.
yeah. JP is we like to say we're the Ahimsa Bros.
That's cute. Yeah, Renee says I introduced the audience to many wonderful humans. Thanks, that's true. And Michelle loves that you're doing a dad group. Okay, I'll be quiet now. Let him get to his keys.
Okay, so basically, after like I mentioned, we had a cooking school here in Boulder, and then when it closed, I was like contemplating my purpose and just what to do next, and that's where the idea of the 4 week training came in. And again, I just love that it's like a ninja. You learn so much in a lifetime of information to go over. But I also was thinking like, what one of my unique contributions, and I feel like I could show people how easy it is to create plant-based foods that taste really good. And like I look at it as a form of activism. So if this show were all about why to eat plant-based and everyone got really psyched up and then they went and the food didn't taste good, it's not going to go very far. So I feel like showing people how to create the food that tastes really good is like a form of activism that could help people make these changes more long lasting. I also like the idea of teaching other people and not just preparing meals for people, but also showing them how to prepare the food. You might have heard that ancient Chinese proverb, if you give a person a piece of tofu, you feed them for a day, but if you show them how to season and roast the tofu, you could feed them for a lifetime, something like that. You might have heard that proverb, some variation of it.
Yeah. The
So in
non-vegan
that,
variation. Yeah.
yeah, so I came up with this idea of these 7 culinary keys that I feel anyone like totally novice, like which side of the knife is a sharp end type of novice. If you put these into practice, you can become more and more proficient and creative and confident in the plant-based kitchen. And so I'll go over the first 3 of those keys, time permitting now, and then we'll do the last 4 keys for your group. And again, there's a link in the show notes where you could download a free copy of the ebook as well, that I could share that with you.
Yeah, absolutely. It is in the show notes. In case you don't know what show notes are, if you're watching on Instagram or Facebook, simply hop over to YouTube, click a little more under the video, drop down, and there's all these clickable links. You can follow Mark on social media, his Substacks. A lot of people are saying they've subscribed to your YouTube. So show notes are available on YouTube.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you.
Mhm.
So the first key is palate development. And so what palate development is like, I like to say, if you taste food and you're like, this tastes good or this doesn't taste good, that means you have a palate. And so you can identify things that you like and things that you don't like. And so what palate development is, it's a lifelong practice of just refining your sense of taste. And so in the 4-week course that I do, the first day is devoted just to helping people develop their palate and identifying like what I call the 6 flavors. So we have glasses of water. One of them has a little salt, one has a little sugar, one has a little lemon juice, one has a little tamari, a little hot sauce, some cabbage water. And this helps you identify like, okay, this is what sweet tastes like. This is what bitter tastes like. This is what sour tastes like. And then we do exercises like tasting raw garlic and then tasting those different flavors, lightly cooking the garlic and then burning the garlic, and just things like that to see how temperature affects food over time, how raw to well cooked to burnt interplays with those flavors, different spices. How does this taste with curry powder? How does it taste with chili powder, things like that, to get those subtleties going. So that's the first really important key, is palate development. The second is what I would consider my signature teaching style that I've developed over the last 25 years or so. And it's the biggest takeaway from all the people that have taken my classes is, and I've talked about this with you on prior shows, is what you do is you look at the underlying formula of a recipe and then you break it into its component parts. And by changing each component, you're creating a new flavor profile or a new recipe. So it helps people break out of this box of like, well, the recipe called for broccoli, but I only have cauliflower. The recipe called for cashews and I only have sunflower seeds, or soy milk. And so it calls for cilantro, but I have basil. And so you could start to break out of this trend once you see this underlying formula. That is the second key. And then the third key is global cuisine, is global spices. And so with spices, when I do interviews and people ask like, how can I get started being more creative in the kitchen? One of my big tips for people is just to either make your own spice blend or purchase a spice blend. So I could pull out like 15 different spice blends that I have here: Italian, Old Bay, Cajun, Herbe de Provence, Tajin, Burberry for Ethiopian. You start developing a knowledge of these different spice blends, and then a simple soup. Just by changing those spices, you can create a whole array of international cuisine. So those are my first 3 keys: palate development, template recipes, and global spice blends. And just learning just those 3 keys alone could take you quite far on your journey. And then I could share the other 4 later.
Yep, absolutely. So I'm curious about how you do a job like Summerfest when you have to manage so many different types of cuisine in like in a 5 day period. Like, you're not just doing one thing and you're feeding like
Yeah.
100 people. I mean, I can't imagine it.
So basically what I do is you identify the ingredients that are going to be common in all of the recipes. So for like a soup, for instance, so what I try to do is the main line and the gluten-free line, I try to do as much as possible the same to simplify it. But and there's like 25 people in the kitchen and food runners, people chopping fruit, and we'll make the soup, say for instance, with all of the ingredients minus any salt, tamari, sugar, and if there's gluten without the gluten, and then I'll take it and I'll pull a batch. So then I'll say like, okay, we'll do like, and the SOS free is definitely increasing. So if I'll take say like 30% of the soup, and we do the soups in these huge soup kettles with like kayak paddles to stir them. I don't know if you've seen those commercial kitchens, like it's like that. So you just pull 30% of it, and then I finish the seasoning on the main batch with the tamari salt, whatever I'll be doing. And then for the SOS, I'll add maybe a little more citrus or more fresh herbs, more spices to compensate for the lack of the salt. The oil is quite easy to get by with. The salt is trickier to hit good flavors. So over the years, I feel like I've been able to develop kind of these ninja techniques so that you can create the flavor without the salt and the oil or sugar. So that's the insider secret to that.
Yeah, that is the hardest. And I think that's what the people miss the most because it's really
Mm,
easy to not use oil because
yeah,
you can use nuts, seeds, and avocado, especially
right.
if you don't mind having the fat. And sugar is so easy because you can do dates and fruit, but
Yeah,
salt,
to-
everyone says is the hardest.
totally.
So we have a question from Giselle. What elevated his chef skills the most?
Ooh, that's a good question. Uh, I'll give you a preview into the seventh key, which is experimentation. And that's just practicing and practicing. And part of what I like to say is entering into a space in the kitchen where you can leave your cares at the door and just be present and mindful. I feel it opens up more creativity. I like to encourage students to have like the Thomas Edison approach so that there's no mistakes in the kitchen. It's just you're accumulating data. And one of the most important things for people getting started is we tend to be really hard on ourselves when we don't do it right or if we make a mistake. I really encourage people that there's no mistakes in the kitchen and to have a positive attitude. I share this great story a friend shared with me about his friend who won a world-class handball tournament. And he said, "How did you win?" And the guy said, "When I made a good shot, I said, good shot. And when I missed the shot, I said, nice try." So it was just like, good shot, nice try, good shot. It was all uplifting. He wasn't like getting out the hair shirt and beating himself up for his missed shots. So I think that applies really well in the kitchen.
Thank you. Marjoy Caw, I hope I said your name right on Instagram, is saying, could macadamia nuts be used as a substitute for cashews?
Yes, so that's an excellent question. And so if you look at this mozzarella as a template and how I talk through templates, I would say you had your base, and the base in this case was the soaked cashews. You can use macadamia nuts, Brazil nuts, blanched almonds would work in that really well to like still keep a good flavor profile. Like we mentioned, if you can have the nuts and sunflower seeds could be used with a little bit. They would have a stronger flavor, but you could still do the technique with the tapioca to make the base of it.
Perfect. And she's asking for the link to join. Remember, on Instagram, it's not clickable, but I did put it there. But if you go to YouTube, the link is right there. I'm curious when you talked about all the different bars at Summerfest. Which one consistently is the most popular? I'm going to guess, but I'm going to let you go
I
first.
would say the raw food
That's
is
what I was
where.
going to say too. It's like even if you're not raw, I don't know what it is about that one bar that's just like the best.
Yeah, so the raw bar is actually, it's not salt free, it's oil free and sugar free. I mean, that actually it's oil free, I would say. So we do, when I came on board, I started introducing more dehydrated items. So we have like raw tacos, we had raw pizzas. A dehydrator really opens up. It's very, the raw station, I would say, is like elevated gourmet raw food cuisine, which a lot of conferences you go to, really, that's like kind of the pièce de resistance of the Summerfest is this like elevated raw food cuisine station.
Yeah, it's oh my God, when you have pizza, it's like you got to get there soon, you know?
I could tell you my if I'll answer any questions, but my funny story about the Platinum Carrot Awards if I have time.
Absolutely. Or we let
Okay.
I'm on the yeah, he asks me to go in 1 minute to the community. So you might have to tell that story in the community. And guys,
Okay.
please feel free to join and hop over. And there's a question if you know any vegan stomps. I'm guessing that's like a stomping ground on Kauai.
We were, I believe, actually one of the partners of the Blossoming Lotus, that was the name of the restaurant here, opened up a vegan restaurant. I don't recall the name offhand. I think plant is in it. But yeah, they're just, if I'm sure your listeners know about Happy Cow. So Happy Cow is the way to go. We were the restaurant on Kauai was pretty special. We had it was like a 85 seat plus restaurant. We did like vegan luau, our grand opening with 200 people and fire dancers and a Hawaiian themed vegan cuisine. I am actually, I put it in the show notes, and on January, I'll be on Maui doing a 3-day in person
Oh my
workshop,
God,
which
I
I
want
have.
to come. I want to
I,
come.
I would love to have you there.
Oh
I
my
haven't
God.
done in person. Post COVID has
I
been a
really
little
like
tricky.
him. You know what? I mean, now that I have cancer, it's like, what? I mean, who cares? I mean, I gotta just do fun stuff like this because I do like in person a little bit better than online, you know?
Yeah, well, I would love to see you there. So,
Jeez. Maybe I could do a dessert I mean, you've never tasted
yeah,
my food, but my desserts, some of them are, I really, I was a real chef. I worked for 5 years as a pastry chef. I mean, I can do some good things. I'm
yeah, I
not.
would love that. That would be
Oh my
amazing.
God, because Hawaii is like my favorite
Yeah,
state in the
yeah.
whole world. Well, we're gonna have to hop over to the other show if you guys want to join us.
Okay.
But Ruth says, I love his philosophy. When I make something that's a quote fail, it just gives me info on what to do differently next time and have a good laugh. I've been intuitively using the three keys. In my improv comedy class, my teacher Patrick Bristow, when we make a mistake, we have to go, yay.
Yeah, oh, that's good. That's cool. A good attitude.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you, Mark. And guys,
Thank
join the
you,
course.
AJ.
Yep. We're going
Okay.
to see you in a minute, but the link is below 25% off his course to get the free culinary keys. And if you want the recipe for the mozzarella, all that information is in the show notes. Thanks for
Cool.
watching, everyone. And come back next week. We have 5 shows in a row.
Wow.
Tuesday. Yeah, we're
Awesome.
doing a special next week, Tuesday through Saturday. And Saturday, I'm
Wow.
actually doing some cooking. Take care, everybody.
Nice.
And those in the community, join us for the